album featuring stars like Miley Cyrus and Post Malone. This is Texas News Primetime.
News made for Longhorns.
Good evening, I'm Medha Serene.
And I'm Ella Danina. Thank you for joining us tonight. The UT community is remembering a student killed in a car crash last Friday. On March 22nd, Ryan Wallace, a doctoral candidate in the School of Journalism and Media, died in a fatal car accident, according to KXAN. Wallace was only weeks away from defending his dissertation on science communication. He worked with journalism professor Kathleen McElroy to develop a science communication course for undergraduate students called Science and the News, which is still offered to students. McElroy launched a GoFundMe to help Wallace's family and said, quote, "He was so incredibly smart and insightful in so many subjects. I think we all would have enjoyed him as a faculty member." The Moody College of Communications said Wallace's committee will still meet on April 8th, the day he was scheduled to defend his dissertation, to honor Wallace. UT student and Dell Medical School researchers have received 5 grants from the Cancer Prevention and Research Institute of Texas, totaling $8.3 million, according to a news release from the university. The grants are expanding laboratory research of potential cancer treatments and improving cancer prevention with screenings. One project the funding will help is a breast cancer early detection program, which will receive $2 million. The program will expand services to people facing socioeconomic challenges, increase mobile mammography screenings, and add 24 new testing sites. Funds will also be directed towards the HPV screening study among Latino women, smoking cessation and lung cancer screening programs, pediatric therapy research, and research on iron and cancer therapies. Justin Dyer has been named inaugural dean of the School of Civic Leadership. Dyer came to UT from the University of Missouri in 2022, where he taught political science. He founded the Kinder Institute on Constitutional Democracy and is on the editorial board of American Political Thought, an academic journal. According to Dell Medical School, 168 people will come to Austin as part of medical residency programs and fellowships. The news comes from Match Day on March 15th, a day where medical students nationwide find out where they'll do their residency. Texas is currently experiencing a shortage of physicians.
The city of Austin has placed restrictions on electric scooters that go into effect today. The number of licensed scooter vendors has been cut in half, reducing it to Lime and Bird. Maximum speed will also be reduced from 15 to 10 miles per hour during the nighttime. Additionally, lines will be set on the ground for scooter parking to avoid clutter. These efforts are to reduce the number of accidents and injuries that may occur. The City of Austin was awarded over $105 million in federal grants for a deck over Interstate 35. The funds come from the U.S. Transportation Department's $1 billion initiative to revive roadways for communities and programs. The construction of a 5.3-acre cap over I-35 will go between Cesar Chavez and 4th Street and serve to create new communal spaces across the urban area.
To close out the month of March, transgender and non-binary people everywhere were celebrated in honor of International Transgender Day of Visibility. Held annually on March 31st since 2009, the day was named by Rachel Crandall Croker, director of advocacy group Transgender Michigan, who aimed to celebrate the joy and resilience of those living in this community. Around Austin, celebrations were underway. Gender Unbound held a picnic and art market at Grassroots Leadership featuring food, live music, talented transgender artists, and Kind Clinic sexual health experts to share important HIV and STI health information. Additionally, the Little Gay Shop held a celebration market with over 20 local transgender and non-binary vendors. To raise money for the community, TikTokers Mercury and Jory hosted their 3rd annual TikTok-a-thon for trans health, inviting viewers to join their live stream and donate to reach their goal of raising $4 million for transgender health care. To get support, gain knowledge on the community, or donate for yourself, visit pointofpride.com to learn more. Kroger, the Ohio-based grocery chain, will be closing its Austin delivery location. There was no physical location, but rather a delivery center where customers could place orders. This announcement comes 2 years after Kroger opened the location and planned to expand its Central Texas. The website says that Austin did not meet its benchmark goal. A warn notice was sent to the Texas Workforce Commission stating that 52 workers would be laid off. According to the Dallas Morning News, Governor Greg Abbott issued an executive order on Wednesday to combat the rising anti-Semitism at Texas colleges and universities. We must now work to ensure that your college campuses are safe spaces for members of the Jewish community, Abbott says. This order requires all colleges and universities to review their free speech policies and lay out punishment for anti-Semitic rhetoric on campus.
Now with the latest nationally, we have Paisley Porter. Paisley, catch us up.
Absolutely. Thank you, Medha. We begin our nation segment with efforts to reopen the Port of Baltimore is underway following the collapse of the Francis Scott Key Bridge on March 26th. In the wake of the collapse, all traffic going in and out of the port was suspended. At the time of the collapse, 8 people were on the bridge, and so far 4 of them have been identified. 2 bodies have been recovered and 4 remain missing. The state of Maryland is receiving $60 million in emergency funding from the federal government for the time being. The 700-foot span of debris will take a while to clean up, so it is not clear yet how long it will take to reopen the port. A data breach involving personal information was leaked onto the dark web for nearly 70 million current and former AT&T customers last Saturday. According to AT&T, the compromised data varied from person to person. Full names, emails, social security numbers, dates of birth, mailing addresses, and passwords were among the information that was leaked. AT&T has not identified the source of leak, but they are said to be reaching out to each customer to have them reset their passwords. A number of Supreme Court justices indicated Tuesday that the lawsuit should be dismissed that rejects a challenge to the abortion pill mifepristone. The conservative majority heard oral arguments that restrict access to the pill, including its availability by mail. During the arguments, the Food and Drug Administration's decision to lift restrictions on the drug being unlawful was not discussed. The decision would leave current rules in place allowing customers to receive the drug by mail without any need for an in-person visit to the doctor. According to the Associated Press, the consequences of a ruling could be dramatic, and demonstrators on both sides of the issue gathered outside the Supreme Court Tuesday.
Now onto our worldwide coverage. Continuing with the latest news is again Paisley Porter. Take it away, Paisley.
Of course. On Easter Sunday, Pope Francis delivered a speech in front of tens of thousands gathered around St. Peter's Square at the Vatican. Francis gave the speech following a recent bout of health concerns. 2 days prior, on Good Friday, he had to pull out of the service for his health. On Sunday, he appeared to make a full recovery. During his address, he condemned the current conflicts in both Europe and the Middle East. He condemned war as, quote, an absurdity, and called for an immediate ceasefire in Gaza. 45 people were killed as a result of a fatal bus crash accident in rural South Africa. A bus carrying 45 worshippers en route to a church in South Africa for Easter weekend crashed. The bus plummeted off a mountain pass bridge and into the ravine, where it burst into flames. The only survivor left from the wreck was an 8-year-old girl who received medical attention for her injuries. All of the passengers on board were from the neighboring country of Botswana. As of last Friday, Wall Street Journal reporter Evan Gershkovich has been jailed in Moscow, Russia for a year. His crime? Journalism. While working on a story in Russia's Ural Mountains last March, Gershkovich was arrested on espionage charges, allegedly caught receiving, quote, secret information, unquote, though Russia has not produced evidence to support this accusation. The Biden administration has been working to negotiate a swap, but efforts have fallen through. Last month, there were rumors that Gershkovich would be swapped for Russian hitman Alexei Navalny, a plan thwarted by Navalny's untimely death in prison. Despite the circumstances, his family and friends remain hopeful. Family members exchanged letters with Gershkovich frequently, and the Wall Street Journal held a 24-hour readathon last week to share Gershkovich's deeply reported stories and protest limits on free press. We hope to see progress in his release efforts soon.
When we come back, the first ever pig to human kidney transplant. Primetime will be right back.
13 of the 48 club sports offered by the university now require students to submit proof of sex assigned at birth.
I know deep down they would probably want to stay with the university.
No way in hell anybody's going to tell my daughters what to do with their bodies.
This state is one of the worst in child education.
We can't take it anymore seeing those scenes.
Going to Hillel on Friday night, all my family members kept texting me not to go.
There's a huge housing crisis in Austin. Do you have a plan in place to address this issue? Determined to start your day well? We're up bright and early. From the enriching local stories to the weather forecast later in the day. Rain or shine, at Good Morning Longhorns, we got you covered. Comprised of a studious reporting staff going lengths to get that scoop, and a talented technical team to enhance your screen visually. As a fellow Longhorn, your mornings are better with us. So start your day the Vivo way. Good Morning Longhorns, Wednesdays at...
Welcome back to Primetime. LinkedIn is planning to roll out a TikTok-style feature. tstvnews' Ella Danina has the latest.
Thanks, Medha. On March 16th, surgeons at Harvard, Massachusetts General Hospital successfully completed the first ever pig-to-human kidney transplant. The patient, 62-year-old Richard Slayman, previously underwent a successful human kidney transplant in 2018, but experienced progressive failure 5 years later. The 4-hour-long surgery was successful, and Slayman is recovering well. This scientific breakthrough could play a major role in solving transplant shortages in the future. The CDC recently issued a report to U.S. doctors on Thursday about an increase in meningococcal disease due to a strain in bacteria. 2024 has already seen 143 cases of this disease, putting this year on track to surpass last year's total of 422 cases in the U.S. The bacteria can cause brain and spinal cord inflammation with symptoms that could include fever, headache, nausea, and vomiting. While the infection can be treated with antibiotics, it is essential that those affected receive quick treatment. The CDC recommends all children get this vaccine as well as a booster dose at age 16. LinkedIn has announced that it's planned to roll out the TikTok-style videos on its platform. They stated that they want to make video more accessible and creator-friendly. The feature is said to be similar to TikTok Instagram Reels. This would expand usership on LinkedIn and increase followers where most people don't reach 1 million. While the feature is not widely available yet, it is being tested for users. For Life and Arts, the Moody College of Communication hosted Moody Cares, a wellness event for students, a few weeks back. TSTV News' Kayla Cano takes us through the event.
Moody College of Communications hosted its Moody Cares event on March 6th for students and staff.
Moody Cares is so important because it brings students together first and foremost, and then we're providing not only resources by reintroducing or introducing students to our care counselor and some of the mental health and wellness resources that both Moody and the university have, but we add a petting zoo, we add some free snacks, and just a chance for students to meet up and connect.
This event happens every semester as a mid-semester break to focus on students' mental health and wellness.
I think it's super important because amidst midterm season, right before spring break, lots of students are very swamped with assignments, tests, and studying. And I think it's a great way for the staff to show that they care and to give an opportunity for students to relax and focus on their mental health and well-being and just having fun with their friends. I think my favorite part is definitely the petting zoo. There's so many fun animals, and I think it's just a great way to hang out with my friends.
I think a lot of students experience a ton of stress around this time of the year. It's honestly really meaningful to see that, your school really cares about you and cares about your well-being.
For TSTV News, this is Kayla Cano.
When we come back, Texas March Madness comes to an end for Pressbox on Primetime. We'll be right back.
13 of the 48 club sports offered by the university now require students to submit proof of sex assigned at birth.
I know deep down they would probably want to stay with the university.
No way in hell anybody's going to tell my daughters what to do with their bodies.
This state is one of the worst in child education.
We can't take it anymore seeing those scenes.
Going to Hillel on Friday night, all my family members kept texting me not to go.
There's a huge housing crisis in Austin. Do you have a plan in place to address this issue? Determined to start your day well? We're up bright and early. From the enriching local stories to the weather forecast later in the day. Rain or shine, at Good Morning Longhorns, we got you covered. Comprised of a studious reporting staff going lengths to get that scoop, and a talented technical team to enhance your screen visually. As a fellow Longhorn, your mornings are better with us. So start your day the Vivo way. Good Morning Longhorns, Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Central Time on TSTV. With brackets breaking left and right, we shift focus to the women's tournament, where some stunning upsets have taken place. Here to recap the weekend is TSTV Sports' Georgie Ruiz. Georgie, what can you tell us about the unexpected twists and turns in the women's NCAA tournament?
Okay, well, it is pure madness. In a stunning upset, the top seed Texas Longhorns were out from the tournament despite their high seeding. They were unable to overcome a strong performance from North Carolina State in the Elite Eight matchup. The Wolfpack's impressive 17-2 run in the second quarter proved to be a decisive factor in their 76-66 victory, securing them a spot in the Final Four. For the Longhorns, this is the third time in fourth season that they've been eliminated at the Elite Eight stage. But despite their dreams of a national championship being crushed this season, the Longhorns remain poised for the future as they transition to the Southeastern Conference. They'll face formidable opponents like South Carolina and Louisiana State. And with new recruits and possibly Rory Harmon back, expect the Longhorns to continue to be fielding nationally relevant squads, ready to challenge for titles in years ahead. And in a shocking revelation, the NCAA announced that on Monday, one of the three-point lines on the court used for the women's basketball at regionals in the Moda Center in Portland, Oregon was 9 inches short of its regulations at its apex. This mistake, attributed to the court contractor responsible for providing courts throughout the NCAA tournament, was discovered right before the Texas game in the Elite Eight. But despite this knowledge, both coaches agreed to proceed with the game, and now fans are outraged, claiming the game was illegitimate due to the court error. The NCAA since has corrected the line, stating that UConn and USC will play the final Elite Game 8 on the corrected court. And the NCAA apologized for this error, acknowledging that the court did not meet their expectations and admitting that they should have caught the mistake sooner. A critical error for the NCAA, and I hope they can minimize their errors for the rest of the tourney.
Thanks for your insight, Georgie. Coming up, speculations about Lizzo's recent Instagram activity for entertainment. We'll be right back.
Thirteen of the 48 club sports offered by the university now require students to submit proof of sex assigned at birth.
I know deep down they would probably want to stay with the university.
No way in hell anybody's going to tell my daughters what to do with their bodies.
This state is one of the worst in child education.
We can't take it anymore seeing those scenes.
Going to Hillel on Friday night, all my family members kept texting me not to go.
There's a huge housing crisis in Austin. Do you have a plan in place to address this issue? Determined to start your day well? We're up bright and early. From the enriching local stories to the weather forecast later in the day, rain or shine, at Good Morning Longhorns, we got you covered. Comprised of a studious reporting staff going lengths to get that scoop, and a talented technical team to enhance your screen visually. As a fellow Longhorn, your mornings are better with us. So start your day the Vivo way. Good Morning Longhorns, Wednesdays at 7 a.m. Central Time on TSTV. Welcome back. Beyonce fans react to her latest album dropping last week. Paisley Porter joins us to spill the tea.
Thank you, Ella. On Friday, Beyonce dropped her 8th studio album, Cowboy Carter. The album was star-studded with features from Miley Cyrus, Dolly Parton, Post Malone, and even Willie Nelson. It featured a cover of the Beatles' Blackbird and Dolly Parton's Jolene. Fans have been raving about it all over Twitter, so it's safe to say that this album is receiving 10s across the board for everybody who listened.
That's your Monday briefing. I'm Medha Serene.
And I'm Ella Danina. From all of us at TSTV News, thank you for watching.
Now go out and change your world.